Ladies and gentlemen, your brothers played it, your sisters played it, your uncles played it, your aunts played it, your grandparents have even played this game. It's Call of Duty, Black Ops Cold War Zombies, and it's fantastic. And today, I want to talk to you guys about why I believe this game is so great and why this is the best installment of zombies that we have seen in a very long time. So we're going to dive into it today. Hopefully you guys enjoy the video. Let's do this. So it's fair to say that many of us, me included, were really nervous after Black Ops 4 Zombies and seeing where Treyarch was going to go with zombies. They kind of destroyed the perk system. They took the personality completely out of the perks. The maps weren't nearly as good as they were in Black Ops 3. And the big question was, where are we going from here? Where are things going to go? Are things going to get better? And my answer to all of you is that things have gotten better, and they have gotten a lot better. And we're going to start off with the gameplay here, because I think gameplay is obviously a fundamental part of any game, and the gameplay in Cold War Zombies is excellent. So the first thing that I want to discuss with regards to gameplay is the flow, the map flow. Now, we've seen bad map flow before. The best example of bad map flow is on Die Rise, because if you have a buddy on a floor above you and you go down and they go down on the floor above you and you are below them, and if they can't get off that edge, there's no way you're getting back up to them. And with no permanent elevator key, the map flow was really bad. And even on Blood of the Dead, the only two ways to get from spawn to the prison were the teleporter and the bridge, and that is bad map flow. In this map, it could have had bad map flow. The only two ways to get down to the bunker without the teleporters are the kind of the opening entrance once you turn the power on, and then the entrance on the opposite side of the map by Jug. Now, but because when you play around with the anomalies and you have all the different portals open up, it significantly makes the map flow better, and this is awesome. Now with high round runs, you see people using the strategy with the ray gun, and they are running from the top floor, taking the nearest teleporter down below to get a new shield. And I think that's awesome. It opens up the doors for epic revive opportunities, for higher round gameplay, and overall makes the game more fluid and fast paced. One of the worst things that you can do with regards to the design of a zombies map is decrease the flow. People hate waiting. I think any step that involves waiting for something to happen or is tedious is just going to make the gameplay boring. And in this game, with the teleporters, it makes everything fluid and feel a lot more cohesive, which really is a win for everybody. Shout out to that max ammo that totally betrayed me right there. But the next thing I'm going to bring up here, so going past the portals here, is the weapons. The weapons are really fun this time around. In Black Ops 4, all the guns felt weak, and the process of pack-a-punching 3 times, I think it was 3 times total, correct me if I'm wrong, was extremely tedious, and it was frustrating. And even though you have to pack a punch 3 times to get it maxed in this game, it is a far better system. So in this game, when you pack a punch 3 times, not only does it make your weapon effective, you can make any gun good for high rounds. You can use a sniper and it's effective. You could use a shotgun and it's great. Not only great for tearing through the zombies, but you can actually use a shotgun and get quite a few points. You can use even an M1911, and if it's a yellow variant and you got good attachments on it, it's gonna do a pretty good decent amount of work, which is awesome, because before in zombies, really you stuck with the same niche weapons. You stuck with the Wonder Weapon, and in Black Ops 3, for example, you stuck with the PPSH on Gorod Crovey, or the Dingo Pack-a-Punch, or something along those lines. You basically stuck with the same weapons all the time. And what Treyarch has essentially done is they've opened up the door for an endless opportunity of mixing and matching your guns with different attachments in order to utilize them in a way that you are best able to play the way that you want to play, that fits with your play style, or if you want to switch things up. So it's a system that is not only great for flexibility with a variety of play styles, but it's a system that's fresh, and it keeps you coming back because there's always a new and a different approach to gameplay. There's always something that could be done better, and that also the field upgrades make that aspect of the gameplay even better as well. That fire ring, you use that on the roof and you can get to around 250. The ether shroud is great for those moments where you're about to get trapped, or maybe your friend's in danger right beside you, and you're going to use that to go for the revive. Now, in terms of the other abilities, I'm still trying to figure out what they do, and I don't want to make stuff up unless I, haven't used them yet, but I'm sure all those abilities have a use as well. Healing Aura probably has a great use. I'm pretty sure you can just automatically revive people with that ability, and that's really useful as well. But that's something that's great about this game. Everything has a purpose, whereas before in Black Ops 4 Zombies there were so many perks that you would never use, like the one that would allow you to see where all the things were on the map. That was essentially a useless perk. Nobody really used that. And what's great about this game, every gun has a use. Every perk has a use, which is huge. And I'm going to move on to the perks right now because the perks are, in my opinion, the best we have ever seen them. In Black Ops 4, like I said, perks lacked character, but they also lacked use. There wasn't really much of a need to buy a perk. In Black Ops 4, Dying, I think it was Dying Light, Dying Wish, that was the name of the perk. That was really the only perk you kind of needed. It gave you a second chance. All the other perks were nice bonuses, but they didn't make you feel stronger. They didn't make you feel like, oh yeah, I'm making progress. But in this game, not only do you have great perks that all have a purpose, but you have different ways to upgrade those perks to make them even better, which I think is great. It gives you a reason to keep playing. It gives you a reason to invest more time in, which is fantastic. Jug, with the upgrade of, there's a 50% decrease in status effects on you, and that alone is fantastic. The dog exploding, I'm pretty sure that decreases the effect on you time-wise by 50%. It also gives you a bonus in health when you fully upgrade it, which is fantastic. And then you have with Speed Cola, you've got a reduced time in the cooldown for field upgrades. And what these individual upgrades do with each perk is they again open up new strategies and new ways for you to do things. That Speed Cola effect of making your field upgrades pop up faster and faster, that's again going to help with that strategy on the roof and Noct, where you're using the Ring of Fire. And there's yet to be more strategies discovered in the future of how we can utilize these perk bonuses, how we can utilize certain weapon upgrades, and the possibilities are probably limitless, which is really, really cool to think about. Now, past that, talking about a specific perk, a perk that used to be completely kind of useless in the past was Deadshot. When you got Deadshot Daiquiri in Black Ops 3, it wasn't really necessary. All the other perks there were great, but Deadshot was kind of like always the perk that was never popular. I mean, even when I used a Drakon sniper rifle and I camped on the catwalk in Doris, you didn't need Deadshot. There was no situation where you really needed Deadshot, and I think they fixed Deadshot in a way that makes it so much better. Now with Deadshot, it does damage to critical areas, not just to the head, and this is going to help a lot in boss fights. It's going to make a huge difference, but also because you get way more points for getting those headshots and those headshot multipliers, your points just go through the roof even more, especially when you're using Deadshot. And on top of that, Deadshot is going to take the weaker weapons and make them even stronger than they were before. In a way, Deadshot is kind of like a mini Pack-a-Punch in this game. The way it snaps to the head, if you just spam the aim trigger while shooting, you can do an insane amount of damage. And Deadshot went from being my least favorite perk to one of those perks where, I want to run it like every single game, and which is awesome. And speaking of which, the perk jingle for Deadshot and as well as Elemental Pop, they're really awesome. And Elemental Pop is a really, really interesting perk, and I like how it gives you an effect no matter what gun you're using. Even on the ray gun, I'm pretty sure it gives you some kind of effect when you're killing zombies. And but yeah, let's get to the Pack-a-Punch because I wanted to discuss that. Now, in the past, like I said, with the Pack-a-Punch, the amount of upgrades you had to do was a pain, and you have to do the same amount of upgrades in this game. But the difference is with this game is that the upgrades are way more expensive. But this is actually a good thing because in the past, you would upgrade for 5,000. Then you would upgrade for another 2,500, another 2,500, etc. And it was easy to get that 2,500 back again, so it just felt tedious. But in this game, you go from 5,000 to start. Then I'm pretty sure you go to, correct me if I'm wrong here, I think it's 15,000, and then it's 30,000. And having those really expensive Pack-a-Punch upgrades makes it very rewarding when you work your way up to getting that amount of points. It forces you to strategize, okay, I got to conserve my points. What are some ways that I can get points faster? And it really makes you focus on capitalizing whenever there's a double points. And I think these are all good. These are all great things. And the new Pack-a-Punch system is awesome, on top of being able to choose the different status effects that you get with the Pack-a-Punch. And I'm hearing that Deadwire is the best one to use. So if you haven't heard that, I think that's something to point out as well. But let's talk about the map itself, because I've talked about the gameplay and how that's awesome and how the perks are awesome as well. But the map has a very good design. And I touched a bit on this with the flow, with the portals. The portals really make the flow great in my opinion. And even though this is kind of like a remake, it feels original to me. When I'm in Noct, I don't feel like I'm in Noctur and Toten, if that makes sense. It feels like a completely new, fresh experience, which I think is a really good thing. I think the added graffiti really looks awesome on the inside of it and gives it this new modern look, which I really like. The trees, when you look up at the trees, we get this kind of forest setting, which I don't believe we've had a forest setting before, but it's a really nice setting that I enjoy. The bunker area downstairs is very interesting, especially with components of the Easter egg. I think it's a great asset to the map, and I think the map as a whole, it's a great map. I don't know what I would give it out of 10 quite yet. I think it's too early to say. But I think that it's space-wise, it's great, it flows great, and what I like about it is that there's areas to train for many people. You can train at spawn, you can train by jug. It's a bit more risky, but you can train by quick revive, and then you can camp on the roof. So there's kind of an area for everybody to play around and work with, which I like, because it's frustrating when you're playing on a map where it only feels like there's one place for people to be or to train, and then everybody else kind of has to find another place to go, if that makes sense. That was one of my problems with Kino. It was kind of the stage, and if you're not at the stage, then you just kind of off in a awkward side place. But overall, this map has been excellent. I think that I'm really liking what Treyarch is doing so far, and I think that we've got a lot of great things to look forward to. Wonder weapons are back. Perks are back better than ever, and we don't have gobblegums, which is great, because gobblegums, they are fun, but I do think that they limit the gameplay and limit the ways that you can experience with the map and get better at it and test different things out. So there's 3 final things that I want to discuss before ending this video, and they're welcome additions to this game. I think all 3 make the game better, and there's something I'm excited about, and they are the new reward system, the new armor system, and just the whole kind of idea of buying things in this game and how that works. So let's get into that. So the reward system in this game is great, and my biggest problem with the reward system in the past was the challenges that you had to do to get the rewards. Oh boy, let's talk about Zetsubo. So with Zetsubo, one of the challenges that you had to do was kill 5 zombies when they were mutating, and what was so frustrating about this challenge was it didn't really come down to skill. It came down to being in the right place at the right time. And if you didn't happen to see that zombie mutating, you didn't really get the challenge. And it felt like that challenge just kind of came down to being lucky, which I found really frustrating. And because I was frustrated, it took me out of the gameplay and I wasn't as immersed. But with these challenges, they coincide with the gameplay, so they work together, so it doesn't take me out of the gameplay. I feel more immersed. You're getting a certain amount of kills in this location. You're getting as many melee kills as possible. There are things that coincide with the gameplay, so it feels natural and it feels smooth. And I also like how you can put in more time and effort to further upgrade your rewards. That is something I'd like to see return. I think all of these changes are great, and I think Treyarch has nailed it in that department with the new reward system. Now, the armor system, if you told me a year ago that Treyarch was going to get rid of the shield and replace it with armor, I would have said that that was a bad idea. And I'm here to say that I was wrong. The armor system is awesome. No longer do you have to remember like 9 shield locations per a map and spend a good chunk of the map just setting up to get a shield. Instead, you can just buy your armor by naturally playing and gaining salvage, and salvage is a great new resource, by the way. I love salvage, and I love the zombie drops with the semtexes and everything, but we'll get to that in a bit. By collecting salvage, you can get armor, and you can upgrade that armor further. And what makes it even better is you can take a portal that takes you straight down to the armor, which again makes the map flow even better and makes things smoother, which is great. Now the armor, it's just pros through the roof. You don't have to spend the time getting shield parts every game, and you pick up the armor, the salvage through the drops of zombies, which you're naturally going to do because that's what you do when you play. You're just going to run over the bodies eventually because you're training. So it's a natural process, and it's something that isn't forced, which again, it's awesome. Now, when it comes to buying things, I love it. Now, there were some people that may have been against buying a chopper gunner, which I can see, the hardcore zombie players that really like the traditional stuff, but I think it's fun. It can get boring running in circles or sitting one spot endlessly, and it's nice to take a little break, pull out a chopper gunner, pull out a war machine, switch things up, and just get a bunch of kills. And also buying monkey bombs and taking those out of the box, I actually think that's a nice change because monkey bombs are super effective when used at the right time in this game, and it's just nice to be able to purchase things directly from this box instead of having to buy everything from the mystery box. And I think it's a good way to just not solely rely on the mystery box for things and add a new layer to the game. And all of these changes I welcome. I think all of them are great. I think this map as a whole is great, and I'm enjoying it a ton. So hopefully you guys enjoyed my first impressions video of this map. I'm loving it. I might do a more in-depth review later, we'll see, but I gotta say Die Maschine is a really, really great map. Don't know, again, what I'd give it out of 10 yet, but I'm feeling this map is at least an 8 for me, at least, but only time will tell. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Drop a like, subscribe for more zombies content, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a good one. Peace.